So a lot of new lawyers or new designations have happened. The designation of a senior advocate from the Supreme Court of India, a very coveted designation. We have never seen so many advocates in one go being designated as senior advocates. What are your thoughts on this? Is this about breaking an elite club? Is this about reform? How do you see it?
I've completed 10 years as a designated senior advocate this June, but I have seen a lot of change, and I think this reform is very, very welcome, and it should have occurred, not now, it should have occurred 25 years ago. When I was designated, there was hardly an objective criteria. It was really a scenario of the full court in its wisdom indicating or deciding that A or B or C is worthy of a designation. And there were some benchmarks, of course, that people met, but there was nothing cast in stone. And therefore, the objective criteria were sometimes known, sometimes not known, etc. But you simply did what you did in the profession. You enjoyed what you were doing. You did well at the bar, and consequently, the full court decided to designate you. I was one of those last members of the tribe to get designated prior to the Indira Jai Singh judgments of the Supreme Court. I think the Indira Jai Singh judgments, both of the Supreme Court, are a very, very welcome change. I think it is a fantastic reform that has been initiated. Why, I ask myself, why should the position of a designated senior counsel remain a coveted club? Why should it be? Why should you not have achievable parameters which are documented, which are there to stay, which are objective, and anybody who actually achieves those parameters should get designated? So why are we even twisting the debate to indicating, oh, why are there so many lawyers being designated? Quite to the contrary, you should welcome that, because that means there are so many members of the bar who are achieving the threshold that has been set for you to get designated. Shouldn't we be welcoming it? Number one. Number two, we have so few senior advocates in the country. We have, I think, almost a million, close to a million lawyers who are, there may be much more who are not even formally enrolled, but at least formally enrolled, we have, I think, a little more than a million lawyers. But cumulatively, with all designations put together in the country, I don't think we even have 10,000 senior advocates in the country. So therefore, one, it's not about how many get designated. It's about the fact that there are many lawyers getting designated, which means the average caliber at the bar has improved. The thresholds are now transparent. There are objective criteria that one actually passes muster before getting designated, and more counsel, the better. And it's not an argument of saying, oh, if you have so many senior advocates, what will happen? How many will survive in practice? That's really not the institution's problem. If a counsel is good, market forces will determine whether a counsel will do well, not do well, the capacity, the acceptability in the bar, multiple indications. Let the counsel do so. If they thrive in the bar, they do. If they don't, they will do other things. But to turn up and keep this artificial fetter in terms of designation is, I think, one of the worst things in the profession. So I completely welcome the fact that we have achievable criteria, we have a transparent criteria, and more people are achieving.
So the second and the final point that I want you to touch, do you believe this process of designation or the reform is complete, or there is a need for more transparency? I came across a lot of comments on social media that said, great that these designations have happened, but we require far more transparency in terms of how it is determined.
You can critique any system. I am a traditionalist when it comes to this. I come from a time when designations were far more opaque than what they are today. I come from a time when in every batch, 4 people or maximum 5 people would get designated and not more. I come from a time where, as a young lawyer, I had no idea when I will get designated. I had no idea what I should do to achieve. Of course, I've always wanted to litigate. Just out of law school, my jump was into joining the bar and litigating. And I really looked up to the fact that one day I will get designated, I'll be senior counsel. Therefore, that senior advocate designation was a dream. But to achieve the dream, I did not know what all could be done, what should be done, in what form. There were no parameters that were laid down. In fact, rules were being modulated, formulated, removed, amended. We had no clue what was happening until, again, Indira Jai Singh happened and the Supreme Court said what it should. Therefore, is the reform complete? Certainly not. It's an ongoing process. But should you criticize it? Answer is no. We have a better system than what we had earlier. So why would you criticize the better system? Of course, it's always good positively to ask for more, to say that this can be more mature, this can be more transparent, this can be more objective, this can be more broad-based. No, it needs to be broad-based. It can't again remain elite in terms of only the cities. I ask myself, why are you only designating advocates who practice in the high courts and Supreme Courts only? Now slowly, courtesy Indra Jai Singh judgment, lawyers who practice in specialized tribunals also get designated. But what about some really brilliant lawyers who are practicing in the Mofussil bar, who are practicing at the district level? Criminal lawyers, for example. Some of the best criminal lawyers in the country do not want to move away from trial to the appellate side, and therefore they remain at the district level, they remain at the magistrate level, at the sessions court level. Why not designating them? So those are aspects where positively you need to change. But I don't think it is right to simply criticize the existing system and say, oh, there are so many questions asked. Why are so many people getting designated? Or why did X get designated and why didn't Y get designated? I think those questions are too many and I don't want to venture answering them.
Do you have any humble suggestion for your peers?
Oh, for people who have gotten designated?
Yes.
I can only share from my thoughts. First, designation should never get to your head. Designation is not really a coveted club. It's a responsibility that's given to you. And therefore, you need to make sure that you contribute more to the march of the law, contribute more to the development at the bar rather than anything else. Second, and I personally believe that designation must make you more humble than what you have been earlier. Advocacy and this adrenaline board tends to get into your head sometimes. We are human beings. I think the kind of work we do, the success we see, the kind of relief that we get for our clients, tends to make us pompous at some point in time. I think a designation should only make you more humble. And I've always maintained, don't work yourself to death. Have a great work-life balance. Please contribute your best to the bar, but winning cases is not the only thing in life.
Thank you so much.